Yeah, dude, I'm nice and cozy in the garden shed. It's the middle of the summer. Why do we have a fireplace going?
I don't know. You're the one who's wearing long sleeves and pants and everything. At least I'm wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, man. You know, actually, so my family was watching the last episode, and they were like, "Why is he wearing long sleeves? It's like 100 degrees." And I was like, "I don't know.
I was just trying to look cool. I don't know.
I was just trying to look cool."
We gotta make the audience pretend that this is a perfectly climate-controlled environment.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
because we have that much
climate-controlled studio that you wouldn't hear an AC running or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, that's like when you're on set and you literally hear them running the vents when they're like in between scenes, and then you know they ring the bell and they're about to shoot, and it's just like dead silent. And then as soon as the bell rings again, you have all the air coming back in. They're trying to like cool it back down.
Yep. So I have a little story for you. You ready?
Story time with Jay.
And I have a video that I took to go with it. I don't even think
like a porno.
No, it's way
pretty
better.
Raunchy.
It's way better.
Oh.
It's juicy and wet. Okay.
Do tell.
So it was after we had recorded a podcast, like a week or two ago.
Once upon a podcast night.
Almost 2 weeks ago. I'm driving home, and I get to the apartments. It's like midnight. And there's things...
There's not a fire again.
Oh, yeah. Apartment's almost burned down. Now, the second crazy thing is I show up, and I'm driving in slowly, and there's objects from a household raining down from the sky, crashing down onto the street, into a pile of stuff already. So I'm talking...
Someone's getting kicked out?
No. Somebody was having a huge fucking, like, mental breakdown.
Oh.
He was on drugs, going crazy. Who knows? Brother, I drive up there, a jar of fucking tomato sauce lands 10 feet in front of my car, shatters. And I'm like, what in the fuck? A microwave comes.
Oh my god, a whole microwave?
A fucking chair. All the dishes in the kitchen, all the furniture in the house. Dude, everything. The video is up right now of a microwave, presumably, or something being launched out of the window. It hits the fucking tree. So anyway, there's a whole apartment full of shit that's broken all in the road. There's broken glass everywhere. And now there's a line of cars building up. And I was like first on the scene pretty much. I called the police. Me and like another dude who were trying to get into the apartments. We were calling the police. We were all pissed off. Like, hurry the fuck up, dude. This guy almost threw some shit at our cars.
Wait, so is this like after that roundabout at your... Like,
before the roundabout, like right
like
when you come in, like and then there's a building on each side. It's like 1, 2, 3 stories.
You didn't even like really make it into the complex. You barely...
He was on the 3rd story throwing all this shit down, and it was exploding on the street. It was quite the spectacle. Like, when do you see that? A microwave fall from the sky.
Wow.
So yeah, I got some footage of that, and everything worked out. Cops came, got him, cleaned it all up. It got cleaned up the next day, but it was a whole thing, man.
Just wanted to go home.
Albuquerque, dude.
Yeah, well, there's a reason Breaking Bad was filmed here, I guess. Breaking Bad, New Mexico.
Dude, it really is. So what else do we have today? We have a very fun episode planned for you guys. Thanks for watching the Garden Shed podcast. Subscribe, like, leave us a comment below. Check out Shed TV, Garden Shed Gaming.
Yes, Shed TV, GS Gaming. We have our article we were going to look at. Let's pull up the article.
Aris is always enlightening us with news, topics,
news.
Memes.
Okay. Ready? Myth of nuclear war in ancient India. Well, let's see. So essentially, I'm going to summarize a lot of the article here. They found in an ancient text, so like last episode we were talking about from the Bhagavad Gita, there was, you know, stuff that sounded like a nuclear bomb. It kind of goes on a little bit. So here's a quote from the Mahabharata. I don't know how to say the words. Mahabharata. A single projectile charged with all the power of the universe, an incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 1,000 suns, rose in all splendor. An explosion with its billowing smoke clouds, the clouds of smoke rising after this first explosion formed into expanding brown circles like openings of giant parasols. What is this unknown weapon? An iron thunderbolt, a gigantic measure of death, which reduced to ash the entire race of the Vrishnish and some other word. Anyway, then it goes on to start talking about the corpses and the bodies were incinerated instantly. This is an ancient text. I want to emphasize.
So hold on.
That text is ancient.
A little more context. Who said this and why? So is it some kind of catastrophic meteor impact that would cause the same kind of thing?
And now that would be the question, right?
What makes you think it's a weapon?
Well, they did use the word iron thunderbolt. They said the word projectile. They talked about it as like a fierce weapon, right? Now, I really want to emphasize, this is a translation into English, but of an ancient text. So this isn't something that someone rewrote or something. This is an ancient text, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't see anything like that for millennium, right? We're talking about something that was written like 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. And we don't have something like that being written about again until like the 20th century, right?
Okay.
So what is up with that? Now, they go on to kind of add a couple more things. Well, let me see if they have some of the
What about the ancient apocalypse like we were talking about? How do you feel about that?
That would be
some
a potential of kind of what I was getting
cataclysmic
at here,
event.
Right? Like maybe this is how civilization ended. Right? Maybe there was this advanced civilization. This is another potential.
Yeah, man.
So it starts talking about like these buildings. So look at these bodies. You look at these bodies right there. They look just like what you would find at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They also measured the radiation on those bodies, and they're 50 times more radioactive than they should be for how old they are.
Whoa.
They're also thousands of years old. So let's say you had an archaeologist at Nagasaki, Hiroshima,
be way
and they
low.
were looking like 2,000 years after World War II, right? That's what they're saying. Like these bodies are far more radioactive than they should be, even if they were recent corpses. But the fact that they're thousands of years old, it's even more weird.
Yeah, I think it's like cesium 120 something.
And then it also talks about in the article, there's a potential crater site of what they're thinking might have been from an explosion. If there was
here it
an
is.
explosion, it's showing you there's that crater site from it. And based on the crater and based on there's an ash cloud, a radius around it of nuclear ash, it looks like it was about the size of the bomb that went off at the Trinity site.
For some time, it has been established that there's a very high rate of birth defects and cancer in the area.
And they found a lot of radioactivity, along with radioactive ash.
Bruh.
A radius right around that crater.
Ancient nuke. Wow.
Those bodies. Let me see the dating. I might actually be totally off on the dating. It might be much older than that. It could be more like 10,000 years old.
So,
it's saying it's between 8,000 to 12,000. So right around ancient apocalypse, which was
it was like 11
like
something.
10, 11,000 years ago. So that's right around then.
Oh,
when we're saying there were these ancient, advanced, potentially civilizations that might have collapsed, Atlantis, maybe whatever we were talking about last time too with Antarctica, like whatever's there.
We did it, guys. We cracked it on the Garden Shed podcast.
Looks like maybe there was a nuclear holocaust. But the only question is, why is that the only site that has that? That's the other weird part. Like we haven't found evidence, at least yet, right, of any other potential nuclear war. So maybe they were just the first ones to do it. I don't know.
What if it was caused from like a meteor impact, then whatever was in that meteor must have had to be radioactive as shit.
But why would it form like a mushroom cloud? Because what it was talking about, sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full now, almost sounded like a mushroom cloud, right?
So, from what I understand,
when it impacts, yeah.
I just learned this about impacts, especially on the moon and both Earth. It's not an impact where it's displacing really the dirt. And even on the moon, why does every crater look like a perfect circle? It's because it's coming in so fast and the friction is so enormous, it just creates an explosion. So all the dust, all the air, everything is just vaporized, and that's why it's like a 360. So it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, and I guess the article didn't actually...
Or what angle it comes at, it's just going to...
Not the article, but the ancient text didn't describe it as a mushroom cloud per se, right? They just said like a circular...
So with enough... If there was a massive explosion with enough heat and things were being vaporized,
and there was radioactive
steam and smoke,
material,
then there's going to be a fat fucking...
And if there's radioactive material in that, it almost explain the ash.
Mushroom cloud is like a volcano makes a gigantor cloud too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily look like a mushroom.
One would like blow up or something.
It just depends on the heat, but I'm with you. I think it could be a nuke. I'm playing devil's advocate.
This one we do have a scientific explanation for, but they did find a naturally occurring nuclear reactor on the Earth.
What?
So it's not active anymore, but there was, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know how this worked, but the Earth naturally formed a nuclear reactor. Like how we have a nuclear reactor in modern day, it did the same process on a much smaller scale naturally. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on bringing that up. Oh, okay, so this article is saying, meet Oklo, the Earth's 2 billion-year-old known natural nuclear reactor. 2 billion-year-old. That's way older than humans or Neanderthals. We weren't even around.
Where is it and what was it doing?
In Africa. And it was nuclear reacting.
No, but like, it naturally occurred how? Like, what does it look like and what form is it taking?
Examinations of this high-grade ore from a mine in Gabon was found to contain a low proportion of uranium-235, the fissile sort. Only a tiny bit less, but enough to make the research sit back and scratch their heads. Anyway, it just sounds like they just had the right amount of, like, uranium and whatever the hell else, and it just naturally...
Crazy.
Caused a nuclear reaction to form. Yeah. But dude, just real quick, so on this article, the other part that I thought was interesting, because it does kind of go back to Oppenheimer's thing with the whole, now I am become death, destroyer of worlds, because it's kind of hinting back at, like, what were these ancient Indians freaking seeing with all these explosions and 10,000 suns in the sky? And I mean, it could be a meteor. Like, that's totally a potential. But it's just so interesting that no one really wrote about that from then up until, like, the 20th century.
Yeah.
And we actually had bombs being invented, you know?
That is wild. Well, we'll just segue into the next thing, I guess. Let's blame it all on aliens.
Aliens. Oh, yes. But before we jump into that, little tie-off point from last episode. So I asked my mom a little bit further into it. Remember I was talking about the whole Antarctica thing?
Yes.
They're thinking it might be a ship, like an alien ship. Now we're getting into conspiracy theories, so I'm not saying if it is or not. But it's not naturally formed. We do know that. My mom was showing me this article online.
Antarctica?
In Antarctica.
Oh, in Antarctica. Okay.
So whatever
it's like the whole fucking
we
thing?
know from the satellite imagery that it is produced in unnatural ways. Like, you know how the Earth can't produce like 90-degree angles, stuff like that. So like we know for a fact, whatever is under the ice in Antarctica, not natural. It has to be man-made or alien-made. Whatever it is, it's not natural.
It's manufactured in
it's
some
it's
way
a
or
building
another.
or a ship or a structure. It is something that it was built.
So I'm not well versed on this matter, but I did hear a little bit about Antarctica. It definitely does have landmass underneath the ice, probably the whole thing.
And I guess my mom was saying that because you had the question last episode about, okay, well, there's the ice, and then I said, well, all you have to do is dig through the ice. But I guess she was telling me there wasn't always ice in Antarctica.
No. So what about continental drift?
Exactly. At some point, Pangea, it wouldn't have had ice on it.
Exactly.
You know.
Even when it was a little bit, like around Chile it could get very green, right? It could have very like thriving forests
and not be
civilization and all that.
Totally in ice and stuff. Let me see if this is...
So, watch out for the Garden Shed video where we go to Antarctica. It's going to be a whole thing.
Where the article is.
Comment down below if you have tips or what it's like to go to Antarctica, how to survive. Mr. Beast did it, so I mean, right? We'll be all right. No, I'm just kidding. Do not mess with Antarctica. It will absolutely destroy you. I've heard it's like a magically beautiful and mystical, but it's very humbling because it takes an incredible amount of resources to survive.
Okay, here we
Hundreds of pounds of gear and food and shit.
There's a mysterious pyramid structure under Antarctica's ice. Conspiracy theories are rife online. Trying to see if we have any pictures.
Rife. Shout out Matt Rife. You seen Matt Rife? Comedian?
No. I don't think these are the pictures because this isn't quite what my mom was showing me, but this does look triangular. Whatever it is.
Dude, I've seen this before.
Oh, have you?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
So the aliens came down in their pyramid ship and taught everyone how to build pyramids?
I've seen that first photo. I've seen this before in a YouTube video or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, another interesting thing that I discovered was the proportions on all the pyramids in Egypt and in Mesoamerica are the same. So the pyramids that they were building, like the Mayans and the Aztecs were building pyramids. I'm not saying they're the same size, but proportions.
And what does that mean?
Are all the same. It means that
like the angle of the whatever,
angles, like the way that they're building them structurally, like the design is like weirdly similar. So like, don't get me wrong, I mean a triangle is a pretty proportional shape, but they're saying that the proportions are like the exact same. And how would that happen if they didn't have some sort of
like leadership,
manual to go off of? Let's put it that way. Let's go with this cultural bringer theory that we had from Ancient Apocalypse, right?
Oh.
A cultural bringer came along and said, this is the math equation to build a pyramid. Or aliens, and communication network. I don't know, whatever that would look like. But the point would be, right, there's some sort of correlation between those two.
Are you familiar with like hidden civilizations in the Amazon rainforest?
Like the ones that have never encountered modern day humans?
No, well, those are like, there's tribes right now out there, but I'm talking about underneath
the ones that
forest,
we haven't like discovered.
There's shit we haven't discovered, and they've discovered some with like this LiDAR flyover radar.
And the problem is we don't have the money to finance the archaeologists to go out there and do it.
Because it's so hard to
When I was at UNM taking archaeology, I even would ask, like, well, why don't you guys go? Like, there's these sites in Mexico. There's these sites in Brazil or wherever else. And they're like, because not only do we have to make sure that we have the funding to go, we have to then store it somewhere. So you have to have a museum or an institution that will take it. And those are the two hardest things to get, funding and somewhere to store it. Now, some places like Mexico, they don't really care.
If they find artifacts.
If you're...
God damn it!
Stop. No, we're not ever...
No, wait. Don't acknowledge it. We'll put something else over it.
Anyway, whatever.
Because we're great editors.
The archaeologists in Mexico, though, they don't have those same rules. Like, I just know Mexico specifically. I'm sure other countries do, too. But,
sure.
So, like, America, we don't send archaeologists somewhere if you don't have the funding and you don't have somewhere to store it. That's just kind of the rules.
I'm sure you need permits and this and that.
Unless you're a civil archaeologist in which they're just trying to build a road and they find something and they just need you to dig it the fuck up and they can finish the road. That's kind of different. Civil archaeologists, actually, from what I found out, get to do more work sometimes.
Oh, wow.
But you're kind of under the gun, and it's less about, like, let's preserve it, and more like just move it out of the way safely, so that way we can finish building whatever we were trying to do. This building, this road, whatever it is. But in Mexico, they don't have those rules. So a lot of times, if you're a Mexican archaeologist, or you're working out there, you can just go dig all you want. You just need the manpower. You just need volunteers to go help you, and you can do whatever the hell you want. Go dig it all up. Because, like, Peru is the same way. There was a lot of archaeologists I met when I was out there, and they just like, I just need people to come help me, and like, let's go do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been wanting to go to the Amazon really bad. There's this guy, Paul Rosalie, who works down there for protecting the land, conservation, all that kind of stuff. And he goes on Joe Rogan and whatever, all these podcasts, and he tells us stories of what it's like to be in the Amazon right now. And dude, it is the wildest, most intriguing experience I could even think of. It's like, he makes it sound like fucking you're on Avatar.
Oh, really?
Dude, he's talking about giant anacondas that are 20 feet long.
Look at the size of that thing. Is that the one?
That is not the one. That is...
Oh, look at the size of that thing.
And that's not even as big as they get.
How big is that one?
That one is 18 feet 6 inches.
That's so big. That's so big.
You know, giant 20-foot crocodiles,
20-footers,
and bugs that will kill you, spiders, people. So there's tribes. There's still indigenous tribes out there that do not wish to have anything to do with modern civilization. They will fucking kill you with a 7-foot arrow.
There's one of them
like,
that this anthropologist started studying, and their language is different than any language in the world.
Yeah, they can't even communicate with them.
It's not just like the words, but the way that they communicate. They don't have like a sense of like. Have you ever heard that like language is how we understand things? Like depending on like what language you were born with and how you learn language, like it actually affects the way you think in the world.
Because we've given everything a name.
So they don't have a concept for not there. You're either here or you're not. There's no you're just somewhere else.
There's no away.
Like, and that's just crazy to us because I can be like, oh, Jay's gonna be here soon. Jay went to go do this thing. No, either Jay's here or he's not. And in their mind, that might as well just be dead. Like you're just here or you're not.
Yeah. Well,
there's no concept of like you're not
pressure
here
to survive and be present.
And then the other thing that's interesting is I'm trying to remember now. God, I learned this so long ago. I think it was like they don't have conjunctions. They don't have like but, if, and, yet, things like that. They don't have that.
They don't need it.
I know. It's just so interesting, right?
It's crazy.
We're over here with all of our commas and adding like all of our little conjunctions and
they're incredibly like healthy from what I hear in the rainforest, and they have these salves and saps that they can get off trees, and it's like a very sacred, protected knowledge of like medicine. And dude, he said Neosporin is a fucking joke. You take a sap off of this one tree, put it on your cut, the next day
disinfectant
gone.
Dang, wow.
It's like he says it's like magic shit out there. I'm like, wow, that's what my dad was telling me, dude.
Oh, because your dad was out exploring.
My dad was out in Peru and fucking Bolivia and the Amazon doing ayahuasca, and he would come back and tell me some wild shit, and I was like, okay.
So we need to go do some travel vlogs.
We need to go. I want to go to the Amazon.
I want to go to the Amazon.
It's so sick.
I already went once. I want to go back.
So they built Paul Rosalie and his team, they built the world's tallest treehouse, and it's like 160 feet off the fucking ground in this massive tree, and they put it as deep as they could in their 50 million acre place. So it's like you're in the middle of the most wild jungle.
Yeah.
We just spent the last 2 months building the tallest treehouse in the world.
But so you get a different perspective because on the ground, it's a different game, right? You only get 3% of the light coming through. But then when you're in the canopy, it's like you're with the monkeys, with the birds, with a million other things. Dude, I want to go so bad.
Wow. Yeah, no.
That's my bucket list right now.
Vlogs. We'll make some travel vlogs.
But this isn't travel. This is like survival, I think. We have to be prepared.
Okay, I was like, get maybe a guide.
You go with a team, you go with a guide. You'd have to do like a lot of stuff.
Otherwise, it's going to be breaking news.
I'm not stepping.
Aris and Jay went missing in the Amazon.
World's most up-and-coming podcast, the Garden Shed podcast, has suddenly ended on a tragic journey to the Amazon rainforest.
They got lost somewhere in the Arctic, searching for the hidden pyramid. Yeah, probably not. Let's play it safe on that one.
The giant anaconda turd found to have Jay's Apple Watch in it.
Oh, there you go. The GSP. No, anyway, okay. So, aliens. You had something specifically we wanted to kind of or expand on from last episode.
We'll do it quick. We'll try to be quick on this. In between now and the last episode, there was a UFO hearing to Congress where 3 very credible witnesses took the stand and told Congress.
They were like all former military officers, right?
Yes. So one was this former senior intelligence officer, one was a Air Force pilot, one was a Navy pilot. So those are like, you get top security clearance. You're doing a lot of stuff that civilians have no fucking clue about. So they're very credible. They seem they're not UFO nuts. Like they're not crazy or anything like that. So anyway, and their story lines up with a lot of other stories and myths about UFOs. They're like So they're saying they've recovered craft. It's everything I was just talking about last episode. So they've recovered craft, but the
Tic Tac story.
The Tic Tac.
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
So the thing is, they finally had a formal
congressional meeting or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
a formal setting where they can be taken seriously and heard out by Congress. And so the main issue is that the government is not being transparent and not telling us everything.
The government's not being transparent?
I know.
From us?
Shocker.
That's crazy.
So they're like, and that's how they are. They're like, shocker, you know? But they're like, as long as there must be a reason, so we're going to find out. If there's not a national security threat, then we need to know. This is groundbreaking stuff. If there's extraterrestrial life that we know about. So anyway.
They want to know.
Congress wants to know. Congress seems very on board. They seemed enlightened and they seemed enthused. And they were like, fuck the government. Tell us everything. We're going to the Pentagon.
You know, I think it goes back to what I was talking about last time with how Truman came into office and he didn't even know about the Trinity Project and that we were building the nuclear bomb. It would not surprise me if a lot of these senators and a lot of these representatives don't know.
They don't. And that's another problem.
I'm not saying if we do or don't have alien technology. If we did, they might not even freaking be in the inside, on the know.
There's huge black projects and redacted stuff. Like $2 billion worth of money is like used for whatever.
Oh, right. But it was like, I put that little clip in the last episode from Independence Day. And he's like, you really think you're paying $200 for a hammer?
How do you get funding for something like this? You don't actually think they spend $20,000 on a hammer, $30,000 on a toilet seat, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Like, it makes sense. You're like, yeah. They just got to write something on that ticket.
But that has been kept from Congress, senators, everybody, by all these secret agencies and contractors, whoever is benefiting by keeping the information a secret. So anyway, check that out. We can link the hearing. And I feel like I talked about it a lot.
A little bit, yeah.
Before it even happened, I was like, I know everything they're going to talk about. And they just told their story to Congress.
Is there any update on India's launch? They already launched, yeah?
No, we're just waiting. Yeah, it's launched.
Oh, they did.
So
they're going to land like August 20th or something like that?
August 23rd or 24th.
Okay.
India will be landing a moon rover on the moon. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Maybe they'll...
It should only last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's like it has a short lifespan, I guess.
Oh, just like dies? Gonna run out of power?
And I don't know why they're taking forever to get there. Maybe it's propulsion or the kind of tech that they're using, or they might be trying to get data. So normally, like the Apollo program, it took them 3 days straight shot to the moon. Now it's taking them a month because they're doing this huge, like...
Oh, to gain momentum.
Yeah, so they're kind of slingshotting around Earth, and then they get into a bigger orbit around the moon, and then they kind of circle in on it. So it's like taking forever.
Okay.
Maybe it's good on fuel. Could be
more fuel efficient,
but they could be collecting a lot of data along that.
It's probably nothing about fuel actually.
Along the way,
space, you're not using fuel. It's probably just because it's faster. I think they just figured out like if you
once you're up there,
the momentum that you have, it's only so fast.
Inertia.
But if you then try to take a little bit more from a slingshot, now you're going.
Yeah, but faster. Then they will have to probably steer it in the right direction. But that's just a little.
Well, that means someone that gets paid far more than we probably ever will is doing math equations and figuring out.
It's fucking AI.
How to do that at this point. Well, you know, now they're building quantum computers and they're making
those are awesome.
Supercomputers look like a joke.
Yeah, but the
computers can compute stuff so much faster than a supercomputer can.
Right, but the implications of it is going to be used for just like data and calculations. Like it's not going to reach a consumer level for I think so long.
Well, I mean, supercomputers really haven't still. You know.
Oh yeah.
Now they're probably going to go down in price. Now that we're going to
no, but imagine that. So imagine we have like a good AI program that can use a quantum computer.
Be smarter, quicker than a human. Yeah.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Like that's That's it, dude.
Man, and that goes really back into the whole,
We're done.
like, what are we doing with the whole AI thing? I keep seeing actors now posting about their strike here in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're striking all over the country, but I keep seeing over it at the Netflix studio, some of my friends.
So, do you have any updates on that? I think it's still at a stalemate.
It's really just the same damn thing. They don't want AI to take over their job, and then it's like the writer's strike, how they want to try to get a little bit of royalties on stuff, and the writers and actors aren't getting anywhere.
Right, and I believe Netflix has offered a counter offer, but they're like, no, it's not good enough.
And that brings me into a quick update. I decided, fuck film for a little bit. I'm going to come back. But theater,
there is no film
not
and acting right now.
So I just got cast today
back on the stage,
Brad in Rocky Horror Picture Show. So that should be a good time.
How exciting! We can
just in time for Halloween.
Hopefully, I can go. I'll get footage of it. We'll post it on here. We'll look at our boy on stage, all fucking dressed up, probably,
or not, because he kind of gets like naked. He just like wears underwear for a little while. So
even better.
I was thinking about that too, because last time I did a musical was Heather's the Musical, and I was one of the jocks, so I also had to strip down to my underwear. And I'm like, is this just my life? Brother. Anytime I do a musical, I'm stripped down to my tidy whities.
It's not bad though. It's not a bad thing.
We got a thing going on. We got a little doobly-doop. So we'll probably just put something together.
Fireplace is fired. We're putting GSP shit on here right now. Okay.
Oh, and then also next episode we should have a producer.
We were going to have our producer today. It didn't work out. It's late at night. It's 1,000 degrees in the shed.
We let the cricket go a little while back. Just wasn't doing it.
Cricket is not. He couldn't even lift the audio interface and plug anything in. So we have a real producer coming.
A real producer, potentially an editor now. So this will be good. We could start content now.
Dude, we're building the Avengers.
The Avengers assemble.
We're building a team.
Garden Shed Empire. There we go.
Wait, who am I? I'm putting a team together.
Oh, you want to talk about that? Was that on the list?
Yeah.
Did you even put? He did. He put secret. Wait, before we do that though, I know we go on all of our tangents just because my phone's dying. Let's do our reactions.
Yeah, hit it.
My phone's at like 4%. Since Jay's phone is the one that's recording right now, we have to.
I'm dying.
Utilize literally at 4, exactly 4.
Nice.
Okay, here we go. I don't know what these are. I don't remember. But we'll see.
Excuse me, I didn't ask for whipped cream.
Oh, you didn't ask for whipped cream? Did you say that at the register?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that this isn't your fucking drink. So if you could, kindly sit your ass down, and I will call you when your drink is ready.
Okay, and I know that you've had that happen before at Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
No, my God, dude, no.
For everything.
I just had it happen to me.
Whipped cream, everything.
I just had it happen to me today.
What?
I was telling Jay, don't eat at Starbucks. It gave me food poisoning. But in general, I eat there all the time. So like, I guess one time out of like 1,000 is fine. But I went up to go get my order, and I was there with my friend. So she like grabs her drink, and I'm just like, hey, can I get a straw? And the girl deadass grabs the drink from me. Like it was already handed out. It was out there, right? And I'm like going to grab it and ask for a straw. She grabs it back, and she's like, this is for Angela. And I was like, okay, that's mine. Can I get a straw? And she's like, oh. And I was like, I mean, I'm not going to explain to you that like I share an account with my mom and my dad, and she's the one that's on there. But like, what if I was trans? I mean, I'm not trying to get into that, but like also like low key. Okay, let's just.
I'm Angela.
Just turn it off.
What the fuck?
You're done. But no, anyway, I don't know. It just kind of like, it felt rude the way that she just pulled the drink away from me. When I worked at Starbucks, I knew sometimes that it wasn't someone's drink, and I would never pull it away from them.
Come on, people.
Like, I would have people be like, oh, is this my hot mocha? And it's like clearly a Frappuccino, and they're grabbing it. I'm not going to like pull it out of your hand. Like, that's so rude. I would just be like, oh no, like that's a Frappuccino. It's definitely not a hot mocha.
No, but that always frustrated me working at Starbucks, is I went out of my way to like alleviate that situation, because that's why I'm getting fucking paid, is to explain, oh, this is for Angela. Is that your order? Not just, you're not Angela. Like, you can't act like that.
I know.
You're not getting paid to act like that. You're getting paid to figure out if he's Angela or she is Angela or not. Like,
I know, wild.
That's your job.
All I asked for
Get
was
to the bottom of it.
All I asked for was a straw. Just asked you for a straw.
Right.
Because the simple solution to that, if you're assuming that I got the order wrong, is to just be like, oh, the order is for Angela. I just want to make sure this is yours, right? Right? And you could just say it just like that. You don't have to grab it from me.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, oh shit, my bad. Or I would have been like, yeah, that's mine. Can I have a straw? Like, that's it. That's a simple grab the drink from me? What the hell?
People suck, man. That's why I don't go out in society. I just stay in the shed.
I would hate, because I actually literally remember that exact situation where I'm putting a whipped cream on a drink and someone would be like, oh, I said no whip. And then I'd be like looking down and I'm like, oh, are you Jeff? And they're like, oh, no, I'm Stan. And I'm like, so this isn't your drink.
Fuck off.
Like,
dude, I hated that when they stand there and stare. Let's not talk about Starbucks, okay?
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, next one. It's in the past.
It's behind us
past
now.
for trauma one of these days.
It's behind us, buddy.
Okay.
We don't have to go
I don't
back.
remember what this is, but
We don't have to.
I said go to 3 minutes in. So for whatever reason, we need to go to about 3 minutes in. Okay.
Oh,
now I remember, now that I'm seeing it.
Oh, you look good. I love
Thank
you,
you.
girl. I love you. Play what games you play?
Valorant.
Oh, what rank are you?
Diamond.
What the fuck?
Am I too good for a gamer girl? Okay, fine. You wanna carry me? I get it. Okay, I'm silver for you.
I'm silver for you.
Oh, hey! Don't skip. Don't
This guy.
skip. What's up,
Oh
mama?
my god, he was
Who
my
are
favorite.
you?
And then we'll be done with this reaction.
God. What's up?
I'm finding you. You're fine.
I'm better now. You mean that? Wait, how old are you? How old are you?
20.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd do some things to you. I would do some consensually. I would do some things to you.
It's cringy.
Exactly my type, so consent.
Are you
around.
for real?
Oh my god, I know it's coming. It's
I'm not
coming.
that hung, but like I can make it work.
I can also tell that you're like ripped.
I am a little ripped, actually. I don't
Bro,
lie.
his
I do
ego.
work out. I do work.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see something first.
Oh,
I
of
might
course.
turn here.
2 seconds
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. Do I have your interest?
I mean,
I'm just saying.
maybe. You got a Snap?
I got Insta.
Can I get your Instagram?
Sure.
Ooh, you have ooh in your name?
Yeah.
Damn, that's you?
Yeah.
Oh my,
Do you like my bikini pictures?
love them. Love them.
Love them.
You said you're ripped. I want to see.
This is just a measly 50 pounds. By the way, I'm bricked right now.
I'm bricked right now.
He's flexing. You see this? He's dead ass doing weights.
Oh my god.
50 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Can you flex?
I don't have to do that stuff on the Instagram, honestly. I gotta save that stuff for private. I'm live right now.
I don't care. Can you flex,
can't-
please?
Chill, yo. I'm live right now. Chill. I mean, chat. She's very convincing. She is very.
I mean, she's very convincing.
Chat, what do we
Shut
do?
the fuck up.
Chat,
Flex
what do
first.
we do?
You want me to flex?
No, I'll flex and you'll flex.
You can flex? Okay.
Yeah, I
sure,
can.
Let's see it.
I've been waiting for this my whole life, my brother. This is it. Take this. You are beating God. What?
What?
Can you peg?
Can you?
I told you it gets better. It gets better.
What the fuck is that?
I'm not, what are you talking? What the f? You're the one bro. What? I'm
No,
down.
I'm not.
I'm down still.
I'm
No,
down
you're
still.
supposed to not be down.
Why the f are you bound?
You're supposed to not be down.
Bye.
So he won. The guy won.
I
Wow.
told you it got better.
Dude,
I
oh my
fucking love
god.
that guy.
I was fucking.
Can you peg?
Fuck.
What? I love that. I'm in danger.
Like, I've been waiting to do it. What?
My bad said. That didn't stop me. That's cool.
Okay, bro, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna actually die. Do you have thoughts?
Secret Invasion, and then I think we're good.
What's your thoughts on Secret Invasion? You saw all 6?
I saw all 6. So far, pretty good. I don't really have any big qualms with it. It sounded like you had something.
Well, I was disappointed, and I tried to not look at a bunch of reviews because they corrupt my pure little sweet innocent mind when I watch a billion YouTube videos. So the first 4 episodes really had me going. Right, I was telling you, I was like, you gotta watch it.
Yeah,
and then it didn't go anywhere. Really, it did, but I thought
I did also find that it felt like they wrapped up the season, and then they were like, we still have more though.
I know. So I'm just confused about a couple things, and I want to maybe next episode we can revisit this because
is there going to be another episode this coming week or next week?
No, it's done.
Oh, it's done.
It's done.
That was the season.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it felt like episode 4 or 5 was the end, and then it was like, no, just kidding. We still have another episode.
But they were already alluding to they were gonna convince the U.S. that Russia had scrolls, and they were gonna the U.S. was gonna bomb Russia and then start the war. So I thought that was gonna happen.
Well, initially they were trying to
episode
get Russia
4
to start the war, and then they wanted America to start the war, and it's
So I thought that was gonna. I thought that wasn't gonna be the main conflict. I thought we were gonna pass over that and then go into something else, and it just took forever. Nick Fury, some of his lines were like, could have been better. I can't think of one, but he was just like, "It's time, go kick some scroll ass." Basically, I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, but you know what? We had the same thing when we were watching John Wick, and it's like, are you ready? Yeah.
All John Wick said was, yeah.
I'm like, how anticlimactic. Okay.
Yeah. The whole movie, bro. So then another thing with the Secret Invasion, I'm just not pleased with it. I got super let down, but I'm confused. I am confusion.
Okay.
I believe the budget was stupid.
Yeah, like a really high
250 mil. Maybe, I want to say 260, 270. So let's just say it was $250 million for 6 episodes. And then nothing happened. There was no Avengers. The only big action and CGI stuff was the scroll.
But yeah, and
shape-shifting.
Obviously the whole time they're like, why don't you call your friends? He's like, I want to handle it on my own. I don't need them.
So they made it make sense. Story was like, okay, this is a human issue. We can't just always rely on the Avengers. We can handle this.
Yeah.
It was a money thing.
I think a little bit too.
They had Rhodey in there, but he didn't have any armor. Nothing cool. Well, he was Skrull, Rhodey. So that's another thing that pissed me off. And there's a lot of theories out about is Rhodey was potentially a Skrull since Captain America Civil War, which is fucking like a long time ago. This is before Infinity War. So that means Infinity War and Endgame and a couple other movies, Rhodey was a fucking Skrull.
Potentially, yeah.
And he doesn't know Tony Stark died. He doesn't know anything has happened about the end of the world,
been there for the blip.
Thanos, the blip. He doesn't know about the blip.
But
because let's say
then are you thinking if that was the case that this happened before he got injured or after he got injured?
When he gets injured in Captain America Civil War, he's in he gets hospitalized. And that would have been the opportunity for a
Skrull. Because we thought maybe he's going to get paralyzed or something
Right. Yeah. So then when he, at the end of Secret Invasion, he comes out of his pod, he's in a hospital gown, and he can't walk.
Oh.
His legs don't work.
I literally didn't even put that together. I noticed it, and I literally was like... Why?
And the other guy is like, Captain Rhodes, how long have you been here? And he just says that, and there's no answer.
He needs help getting carried out.
And he needs to get carried out.
I noticed it, and didn't put...
So I'm pissed.
That would totally make sense.
So then Rhodey is going to go through some trauma, finding out everything.
Everything that happened. About the blip, about...
The only other explanation I could think of is maybe after Endgame, Rhodey must have had a surgery or a procedure or something.
Yeah, I mean, the writers can do whatever they want.
They might pull something like that, yeah.
But it is interesting that he's paralyzed. Although, unless we're saying maybe he got paralyzed from something else.
So then now there's all these videos looking back at the last Avengers movies, like they didn't plan this at the time when they shot those, that Rhodey was going to be a Skrull, but now he was. So it's like, they really need to tell us when Rhodey became a Skrull, or I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
But how'd you feel about the last episode, like the Gravik fight scene and all that? It was okay.
It was okay. Actually, I don't remember if it was the last episode or the 5th episode, but it's when his wife is like fighting off the people that are like coming in.
Yeah.
She's like all fucking badass.
She's badass.
And she's like fucking with her shotgun. Like,
she's a Skrull.
I know.
I thought that was crazy.
Like,
and he kissed her Skrull ass at the end.
I know. And he's like, "Do you love me?" Or do
I
you
thought
love,
that
like,
was very
this face
sweet.
that I put on for you.
At first, I was like, he's kissing an alien, but I'm like, it's not an alien, man.
He loves her.
Yeah. I was like, that's a very, like, bigger message.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
And then I also do kind of wonder, like, what is her plans, right? Because she's like, I'll go help you for now, but, like, I have my bigger plans. Like, I got stuff I need to go do.
Oh, that's another thing is they didn't show the Saber space station at all.
Oh, that would have been so cool. You'd think they would have, like, first episode.
Brother. So it's going to be, they're going to be on it in the new Captain.
I was going to say, are they doing that for the next movie?
The Marvels. What's it called? I think it's called The Marvels or something like that.
I don't know.
Secret Invasion. I'm just kidding. It was okay.
It was pretty good.
It was good. Like, I was super into it. I like the espionage, spy, secretive government kind of stuff. But then it just didn't.
Oh, though, I was a little bummed out.
I don't know.
They killed, what's her face? The agent that he'd been working with for all those years.
Colby Smulders.
Yeah.
Robin.
I was like, I liked her character.
Yeah.
So I was a little
she was in S.H.I.E.L.D. forever. Yeah.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. And I did watch most of that show, although it did start going downhill near the end.
Really?
Being completely honest.
And
did
it's
you
not
watch
even
much of it?
canon, some of it.
It was pretty good at first. If they're saying it's not canon, then it's not. At the time, it was 100% canon. It
was at the time, but I don't think it is now.
Super related to the movies. Literally, like, I remember I had to, like, stop watching an episode because I hadn't watched Thor 2 yet. Because I was like, oh, shit. It, like, opens up when they're cleaning up Thor 2. Like, a lot of times it would be like, this just happened in the movie, and now we're on the scene.
Yeah.
So
do you remember the Netflix Marvel shows? Daredevil, Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Luke
and
Cage.
Jessica Jones.
Did you watch those?
I love Jessica Jones.
That one was
Luke
good.
Cage was also really good.
Iron Fist is alright.
Daredevil, of course, everyone loved that
Yeah.
one. I actually didn't watch Iron Fist.
It was
and then because I hadn't finished all of them, I never got to the big crossover, whatever it was.
Me either. I don't know what happened with all that.
One
so
of
I'm
these
like,
days I need to
is
go
that
to the
canon?
crossover.
Do you know?
In the shows, they make the movies canon.
So, but they're bringing.
Oh no, of course they're canon.
Daredevil
because
in.
they had Daredevil
in Spider-Man.
Yeah, they already had him. Because he was the lawyer. Because someone throws the brick at
Punisher, also, right?
And he grabs it.
That's a show.
Punisher was good. I liked Punisher.
I was curious about that. I was like, what happened to all that Netflix shit?
Yeah.
That was like 2015 or something.
I think they're
That's when it was
all owned by
height.
Disney now, and it's just a matter of who owns what. It's the same thing
Okay.
with all the DC shows. The DC shows stopped because CW was producing them through Warner Brothers, but then Warner Brothers and Discovery merged, and they decided to go their own separate way, CW.
Interesting.
So they're not allowed to keep making the shows. So they've been doing the whole Arrowverse for years now. So Flash... Well, Arrow already ended. Flash just did its last season. They canceled Batwoman, canceled Legends of Tomorrow, and then I think there was like one more, Black Lightning. And they're like ending that one. So there's only going to be two, and I don't know if how long they're going to keep going, but there's Stargirl, which is also pretty good. If you haven't seen Stargirl, it's a standalone. I think it's all the same universe, maybe not, but it's pretty good. So you don't need to watch anything else to have context. And then Superman and Lois. It is part of the Arrowverse, but it's more like they bring Supergirl onto their shows. It's not really the end of the world if you go watch it and you've never seen Supergirl or you've never seen any of the other shows, because it's pretty standalone as well.
I want to see the Flash movie that we reviewed the trailer for a long time ago.
You still haven't seen it?
No.
Bruh.
You like it?
literally has Batman and Flash. Like that's the two main characters.
Fuck.
Come on.
It's good?
So good.
Slacking.
So you know what happens in it, right?
No. Spoiler.
I don't want to spoil too much for you, but essentially Flash goes back in time, as we know, because it's Flashpoint, and he gives his powers accidentally to his younger version and loses his powers. He's trying to help him. He's like, oh my god, I messed up the timeline. You're supposed to be doing this right now because he saved their mom.
Wow.
And he's like, you're supposed to be Flash tonight. Like, you're not at all on the same path I was in. He was like flunking out of college while in his timeline where his mom died, he's like already working as a CSI.
I see.
And he's like, so I'm going to sneak you into the police office. We're gonna have you go into the CSI room and we're gonna let the lightning strike you and you're gonna get hit by the chemicals and be Flash. Boom. Easy. But he also got hit by the lightning. So now younger version of him has powers, but older version, current version doesn't. And that's the whole movie. And trying to get his powers, but because he also messed up the timeline, suddenly Superman doesn't exist and it's Superwoman. And he needs Batman's help, but Batman's retired and it's not the same Batman. It's a different Batman. And he's like, I'm retired. Like, I'm not helping
From
you.
Is it Michael Keaton or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So then they're trying to fight Zod, General Zod, who's like also Kryptonian.
General Zod.
Superman's big guy.
Yep.
Anyway, he gets there and he's kind of like, Superman, come out. And it's like, LOL, no one even knows who Superman is. Like, the world is trying to appease this guy. And they're like, we don't know who you're looking for. He doesn't exist.
Mm.
And then they have to free Supergirl from like a Russian prison. And she's never seen the light of day. So she's skinny. She's gone.
Dang.
She doesn't even know she has powers.
Oh, that's messed up.
And all of a sudden, she needs to go from, I don't even know how to speak English because I've been locked in a prison and I'm like underfed and malnourished and I didn't know how to use my powers, to fighting General Zod within the span of like this little movie. Right? Batman's retired. Flash is like brand new Flash and he doesn't know how to use his powers. Like, of course you have Flash being like, just phase through it. And he's like doesn't like hit the wall. Like he doesn't know how to phase. So it's like you literally have like retired Batman and two superheroes that don't know how to use their powers.
Yeah.
And they're trying to fight General Zod and it's a disaster.
Makes for a good story.
And essentially the movie ends with him trying to go back in time and fix things and back in time and fix things. And then you discover like the villain is actually his younger self. And in the end, he has to fix everything and let his mom die, you know?
Last thing. Let's get the fuck out of here. What are you most excited about coming to DC and Marvel?
For DC, I am actually pretty excited to see what they're going to do moving forward because we haven't seen Aquaman in a while.
Let's go.
And obviously, they definitely left it open like they want to make another Flash movie. And now there's a new Batman. It's George Clooney.
He's an old Batman.
I think so. Wait, was he the previous one?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, who's the new one? Oh, God.
He was Batman before.
No, he wasn't.
Brother.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't George Clooney.
Yeah.
Batman
It was Batman Forever. The one with Poison Ivy.
Oh, you're talking about like the old one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has been playing him in the current DC lineup.
Oh.
Because he changes it. It's a different actor and the retired one. And then he goes and changes everything back, but it's still kind of different, but the same. And now it's George Clooney.
So they're doing multiverse shit.
Yeah, they are.
They did the Spider-Man thing.
But the whole point is, this is exactly what we talked about on that episode where we reviewed it. They left it open now. Different Batman. Probably different Superman if they wanted to, or different Wonder Woman, or different Aquaman. Whatever they want to do. We know that Aquaman is still the same actor because they had him in the end credit scene.
They will not recast him.
No, Jason Momoa is
fucking way.
Yeah. But the point is now they set it up where it's Flashpoint, different universe. They basically have a reset. So they need to get a fucking showrunner to figure out their shit and play it out.
They need a Kevin Feige.
You don't need a goddamn Infinity War, but like I just need something that's more planned out than like, oh, that didn't work. Let's try again. Like, stop doing that. Figure it out.
It's ridiculous, man. I feel like there's so much on the line. The fans are depending on you, the reputation.
I know.
So I'm excited for...
You got something with Marvel?
Low-key.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard
the
that...
show was so good.
It's going to contribute to the MCU progression a lot.
Really?
And it will decide the fate of Jonathan Myers, who plays King the Conqueror.
Okay. Well, you were talking about they're entering, was it phase 4 now?
5.
Phase 5? Is that
I think it's 5.
5? I don't know.
I think it's 5.
Because to be honest, I thought they were going to end with the current phase. Like, I thought it was like Infinity War was the big thing, and then we're just going to fizzle out with some shows or whatever. I didn't know they had a plan for a phase 5.
Yeah, there's a whole new plan. There's going to be a couple more Avengers movies. There's going to be one called Armor Wars or Secret Wars, and then it was the Kang Dynasty. However, the Kang storyline hangs in the balance with Loki. So I heard, because there's drama offset with Jonathan Myers. He got arrested for something, some kind of domestic violence thing, but he's apparently trying to prove he's innocent. So like his managers and somebody else kicked him from projects, but Marvel has kept him on. And then they had him, like he's set, he's King, right? He's probably going to be the main villain of the MCU for the next Avengers series, whatever. And then he's in Loki, but amidst the, what am I looking for? His trial, the chaos, they're considering, or they did some reshoots, so they have an alternate ending for Loki to get rid of him.
Okay.
So they might kill him off.
They're going to see.
If the judge is like, he's guilty. Oh, okay, no more King.
Wow.
So they have two different things, I think. This is what I heard, that they could release for season 2.
Man, that kind of sucks as the actor.
It's crazy, right? I know. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Season 1 was pretty good, though.
Thin ice, man.
I like
season 1 was awesome. I'm excited for season 2, but I've heard it will propel the MCU a lot.
For sure, yeah.
In this current phase.
Cool.
So that'll be exciting to see. I hope they introduce some kind of different storylines, but...
Yeah.
All right, brother, let's get that.